What's up, y'all? Good morning. Did y'all see Baddies? So the episode we've all been waiting for aired this past weekend when Tommy comes in with her little, her little stuffed bunny. This episode gave everything it was supposed to give, in my opinion. And Zeus, thank you, because you've been actually listening to us. Because I just knew what was gonna happen. They're gonna just drag it all out. That we're gonna see scenes, with each girl separately talking about the situation that happened with Rolly and Slim, and oh my god. And then we were gonna get that house meeting at the very end, and then Tommy's gonna show up, and then next we're gonna see next on Baddies. But they gave us the whole thing. They gave us everything we wanted to see in this one episode. So thank you. And also, I think this is when I realized how slow of a pace this show is actually going, because this whole episode was them in the campfire the entire time. So like a whole day was like these past two episodes. Like, wow. So the episode starts off, they all sitting around the campfire. Natalie want to have another house meeting. Automatic was sitting there like, oh my god, it's cold as hell outside. This fire pit's not doing anything. What do we need to talk about? And I agree with her. I'm like, some of these like house meetings, I'm like, okay. And this might be a little side note, but I hate when they be talking about, oh, we're gonna go to brunch. Like that one episode when they went to brunch and it was dark outside. I'm like, okay, I like having breakfast for dinner, but it's not brunch, it's dinner at this point. And also, where was the brunch? Because I ain't seen no bacon, no eggs, no chicken. All I saw was shots there. I mean, y'all could at least had like some mimosas and fruit to make it look like a brunch. Like, did y'all even try? But back to the episode. So they sitting around there, they're talking about everything they did that day and how Rolly gave Slim that corny ass eviction notice. And the girls sitting there like, what? Huh? We didn't even see her leave. What happened? Jayla's sitting up there like, well, she couldn't rise to the occasion, so she had to go. Jayla, you getting on my nerves. Like, you were just sitting up there in the room with her, like talking about, I was rooting for you, and this is just your experience. We still love you, and you're just like, and then you go out there and do that. Just, oh my gosh, I couldn't be on this show. I couldn't. I kind of agree with Nunu like about Slim. She's like, you came here to pop your shit, and then you let them kick you out. Like, I know if it had been me, I'm like, you would have had to like, I ain't going nowhere. Like, I would have had to fight up everybody up in there because, like, who you kicking out? Eviction notice. I would have tore that up and threw that in Rolly's face. Like, get the fuck out of here with that shit. Then Natalie says that Tommy's going to be joining them, and everybody's just sitting there like, it's just like, dun, dun, dun. And did y'all notice how they all just started turning on each other? Like, they all start arguing with each other. I'm like, dang, Tommy got y'all that upset? Now, Rolly did call Natalie out, and I actually did agree with Rolly about this. Like, there is too much, like, fakeness going on. Like, y'all sit up here and y'all talk about people behind their back, but then as soon as they get in your face, it's, oh, hey, how are you? Like, no, keep that same energy. Natalie was doing a lot of that with Tommy, but, like, I do understand where Natalie is coming from, because they have fought, like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times, and it's like, how many more times you want us to fight? Like, we squashed it, but, like, still keep, like, if you don't like her, don't act like you do and then talk shit about her behind her back. Then Natalie wanted to get on Biggie about something that happened like 3 weeks ago when Biggie said, y'all better be prepared for when Tommy comes here. First of all, Biggie said that like a while back. Why are you getting on Biggie? Oh, because Rolly would knock your ass out. That's why. So then Tommy comes out. She comes bearing gifts. She brings everybody some trees. And I'm like, okay, all right, Tommy, I see you. But then she also had that little stuffed bunny. So Tommy is standing there, she arguing with Tinka, Rolly, and Akbar. And, like, I'm like, dang, Tommy's just holding her own against, like, these three women. And, Tinka, I don't even know why she arguing with her. Because, okay, Tinka really should have just minded her business, because their beef wasn't even that serious. Like, she didn't even, they had a flashback of what happened at the Baddies Caribbean reunion. And what Tommy said, like, she didn't even really say anything about Tinka. She was having meatballs back, but I guess Tinka had a problem with that. And Rolly just be talking. I think, because she gave Slim that eviction notice earlier that day, I think she started to smell herself. And her and Akbar, like, they're arguing, but they're coming to somewhat of a common ground. But Rolly did say, he's like, this is so boring that everybody's starting having their own conversations. And I understand a little bit. Like, I feel like that whole scene, I feel like they could have cut that up just a little bit because I felt like it kind of dragged a little bit too much. Like, I started to kind of check out. Or maybe I was just anticipating. I'm like waiting on what's about to happen. And shout out to Scotty because she called it from the very beginning. She like, what's up with the bunny? What's up with the bunny? What, Tommy? What's that? What's that? And Tommy's just like, oh, it's nothing. Something, In other words, mind your business. Mind your business, Scotty. Mind your business. So then Akbar and Tommy, they patch it up, and Akbar's just like walking off. She's like, I'm not going to fight you, but if you're on that type of time, then I guess I am too. So Tommy's like, okay, you going to get off? And she's like, yeah, I'm done. I'm not fighting. So then Tinka starts to walk up on Tommy, and Rolly's like right behind her, like they about to jump her or something. Tinka's like, why y'all not fighting? And Akbar's like, because I'm not. And Tommy's just sitting there like, oh. And then she pulls out what was in her little stuffed bunny and just starts clack, 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 clack. And I don't know. This wasn't funny, but it was. I think it was just funny to me because all the girls had like all types of different reactions. Like Tinka just stood there, and Rolly, she ran off, and Akbar was like, she's like, I'm gonna get the hell up out of here, and she ran off. Natalie and Jayla, they on that little bench, and so they went backwards like this. Oh shit! And this is how you can tell how some people like are about that life, or they grew up right around the way from the hood, because Nunu and Summer just sat there like, and Bad Dolly was just like, but Nunu was just like, she was like, wait, what was that? Huh? And then she said she felt like 50 Cent. I can't. And Biggie's just like, okay, she fucks with me, so I'm not gonna get shot, so I'm just gonna stand right here. Scotty's sitting there like, I told y'all something was in the bunny. I told y'all. Scotty did call that, yep. So, Tinka's trying to get to her, rightfully so. I get it, but she's trying to get to her. And I guess, like, at one point she broke free, and they get a few hits in before security gets them. But everyone's sitting there like, oh, Tinka, she getting Tommy. And I'm sitting there like, where? Like, child, I must be watching a whole different show. Like, because that's not what happened. I think if anything, Tinka probably got one like good hit in, but then Tommy got one in, and then like security broke it up, So it wasn't given that. I'm sorry. And Rolly, she's pissed. She's all the way like, I don't know, she in the parking lot, but she's in like, it seems like she's in like a whole location. They're like, okay, let's get her off before she goes crazy. And then she gets back on set, and like she's just throwing chairs and shit, but she throws a chair right at Nunu's head. I'm like, dang, what Nunu do to you? But I don't really feel too bad for Rolly, because she needed to be humbled a little bit. But I remember Tommy saying something during the Baddies Caribbean reunion that always kind of stuck with me. Like basically just like, this isn't like real beef. Like real beef is like, at the end of the day, one of them two ends up, another person ends up in jail. Y'all don't want that in real life. Like, so that just kind of, if anything, this episode kind of showed you, like, just be careful. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, the next episode, they're going to end up in Hawaii. So we already know that this is going to be a whole nother like can of worms. So I will be tuning in, and I cannot wait. So I'll see y'all next week.